Hey everybody, this is Carla. Welcome to an all new episode of Projectized, the project management show. And I'm going to end the series for identify stakeholders this week. So if anyone is watching, I am going from the Project Management Body Analysis 6th edition, which is the guide that you use if you want to study and pass the Project Management Professional or Certified Associate in Project Management certification exams. And I'm doing this weekly series because Projectized covers three things: the business of project management, how businesses use project management, and obtaining project management certification. And I wanted to use this as an opportunity to better educate the people who watch my show and make sure that they have the project management basics. So for this episode, I'm going to be talking about the updates, and I already started in the beginning of the updates from yesterday's show, but I'll go over them again. So the outputs for this one is the stakeholder engagement. So stakeholder engagement is the stakeholder register. I'm sorry. So the stakeholder register is all about making sure you write on the stakeholders, their needs, their communication. So I use myself as an example. Say I'm a stakeholder on your project. I am a high degree of influence. So I'm a major stakeholder, and I prefer to receive my correspondence every single week via email on the project. So that is what stakeholder register is about. Also, what I would say is that I am going to be throughout the project. So from here, initiating through, there are 5 processing groups: from initiating to planning, executing, monitor, control, and closing. So I'm a major stakeholder. I'm going to be through and through everything. So say there's another stakeholder that is only going to be an expert when you're doing the work or executing. You would document all of that down in the stakeholder register. And I'm going to give some additional updates regarding some of the things and the categories that will be in the stakeholder register. You would have your identification information, such as my name, my position, where I'm located, my contact details, and my role on the project. You also have assessment information and stakeholder classification. As I mentioned, I'm a high power stakeholder, a major stakeholder, so that would be in the stakeholder classification. Some other things that will be part of the outputs are change requests. As you know, if stakeholders change throughout the processing groups, you need to document that change. So it's very important that you document any change requests. Remember, you have to go to perform integrated change control, which is 4.6 in project integration management. That's in monitoring, controlling, and we're currently in initiating. The next output that we're talking about would be project management plan updates, such as requirements management plan. What type of requirements do the new stakeholders, because remember, stakeholders are coming and going throughout the project. You need to know what they require. You need to know their communication. So you need to update the communication plan to accommodate these new stakeholders. Your risk management plan, any type of, risk, especially we have a thing called risk owners. So if the new stakeholders or the current stakeholders become risk owners for your project to help you, the project manager, and your project team, you need to know about that. And then also updating the stakeholder engagement if you have any agreed upon communication strategies and identifying new stakeholders. Finally, you have the project document updates that you, the project manager, are responsible for. Updated assumption logs. So the assumption logs, what you assume to be true. Obviously, we're still in the initiating processing group. So way in the beginning, we have a lot more assumptions than what is concretely happening because we didn't even create the project management plan yet. And then next is the issue log, any issues that have been raised from current or new stakeholders, and then an updated risk register, which documents, for instance, as I mentioned before, some of your experts and stakeholders will be risk owners if they've seen any risk or identified any new risk or did any risk responses. it would be there. So that concludes this episode and this series for identifying stakeholders. As always, my name is Carla R. Jenkins. Projectized is broadcast on Periscope, YouTube Live, and Instagram Live, Mondays through Fridays, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. My universal social media handle is Carla R. Jenkins. You can find me on all three networks through that. And as I mentioned, every week we're going to lay out project management process so that you, the viewer, can have a better understanding of the project management basics and also hear from an actual certified project management professional on how to use these processes. Remember, PMBOK or project management body of knowledge is a guide, so it's not a formal standard and you don't have to do things in lockstep. But I always wanted to use Projectiles as a way of doing that. And then finally, you can sign up for our free PM Project newsletter at bit.ly/PM Project Mail. The link is in the description. I would like to thank all live and replay viewers for taking out the time to watch this episode of Projectize, and I'll see everyone in the next episode of Projectize. Goodbye.